Howdy, howdy, folks. Got 17 people in here right now. Boy, that sun is really bright behind me. Not something that we're used to here over the last few weeks. Been nasty out. Let's get you in here. We're in the office here, Stony Ridge Farm. Welcome to the channel. I think my camera's got a little bit of a yickiness on there, so let's clean that guy off so you can see me. I think that's a little bit better. So welcome to the channel, guys. It is midday out here, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about where I've been and what the heck's been going on. I've had a health issue, and the health issue has been vertigo. I've been to the doctor. I can't get out and film in motion. I can't get out and work so much in motion. So I'm really it's stressing me out to not be able to make videos for you guys. So I wanted to come on today and just mention where the heck I've been, what the heck's been going on, and why I haven't been working out in the shop or working out on the farm. So we've experienced a whole lot of really bad weather here lately on the farm. Let's see if I can make this better. I don't think so. I think the only thing to do is sit right here. So we've experienced a whole lot of bad weather here on the farm, and I can't get out and work with the tractors. I can't get out off the beaten path. I can't get off in the grass. I can't do anything that I really want to do with you guys. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't been able to make any videos here recently. I don't have a video bank of stuff that I did throughout the summer. Everything I do is pretty much chronological in the video series and the vlogs. Christopher, holy crap, man, 20 bucks. Thanks, buddy. Thank you so much. That's awesome. So everything that I do is in a chronological order, so that I'm not doing this day and then this day and mixing everything up and getting them confused. So a few questions that we're being asked is, where the heck have you been? Are you okay? Is everything okay? Yes, I'm okay. I've been in the office. I can't sit in front of a computer very long because everything is going like this. I'm having vestibular migraines, and they're coming from travel. We went to the UK, and this is Tom Pemberton's hat. Thanks, Tom. We went to the UK, and when we came back, I started having migraines, and I've never experienced anything like this. I'm not the kind of guy to admit defeat. I'm the kind of guy to suck it up and go, and I can beat this, I can do it. But there's nothing I can do at all. Went to the doctor, lost you again. So went to the eye doctor, went to the ear doctor, ear, nose, and throat doctor. Eye doctor says vision's good, 20/20. Cool. Went to the ear, nose, and throat doctor. He immediately said, you're having vestibular migraines. They go up and down and up and down and up and down. So 5 minutes from now, life may be clear. 10 minutes from now, life may be going like this again. So it makes it really difficult for me to get out and do work with equipment that could harm me. So that's what's going on. That's where I've been. That's what's been happening. A few people asked, I did a security video this past weekend. I did a video about home security, about what I do to keep my home secure when we're home, when we're gone, to keep prowlers away, to keep people away. And, we used a whole lot of lighting and Wi-Fi plugs and all kinds of little fun gadgets that I showed you. But I made a mention that Don Huron, thank you for the $20 super chat, bud. And there's a $4 one out there too. I'll get back to that in a second. So I made mention of my law enforcement background. Maybe I've never mentioned this on the channel, or maybe you guys didn't know, but I was a sheriff's deputy for a brief period of time, and I've got a lot of friends that are in law enforcement, family members in law enforcement, and I really support what law enforcement's all about. I got into law enforcement because I wanted to do some good for my community. I wanted to build relationships with people, and I just wanted to do good. The same reason why I became a nurse, because it makes me feel good to do good for a community. And I think that's why I do YouTube videos, because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to share what's going on in the shop, on the farm, building something, sharing something with you. It just makes me feel good. So in case you guys are wondering about the law enforcement background, that's it. So I guess I've lived a lot of life, we'll give you a little bit of history. Right out of high school, when I was in high school, I did car stereo stuff, custom car stereo installation, stuff like that. I always liked working with my hands and building stuff and making stuff. And I've just always loved that kind of thing. So that kind of translates over into the farm. But for 10 or 12 years, I had no idea I wanted to be part of a farm, or I wanted to live a rural life, or I wanted to raise chickens, or any of that stuff. So I think through life we go through changes that make us better people. Hopefully make us better people, not changes that make us worse people. So just what I wanted to share with you is a little bit of history here. So I started out installing stereos and making lowriders and stuff when I was in high school. Modifying my own personal car. I've always been a car guy. I've always wanted a 57 Chevy Bel Air. That's been like what I wanted forever. And I had one. It was way too rusty, but it was fun to have. So went on from that, and I was 17 years old. I signed up for the Air Force when I was 17, and as soon as I graduated high school, I headed off into the Air Force. And I had the aptitude for an electrician. So in other words, I was an electrician that worked on airplanes. I was an electrician that worked on the office buildings, helped maintain the airfield lighting, and we did the overhead power lines for the Air Force base. Let's see here. I'm told that job has since changed to basically setting up bases for deployments. So we also did that. We set up what's called a bare base situation. Let me grab my coffee. And a bare base situation would be you fly into a place in the desert and you set up an Air Force base. And that's what we did. And if the base got bombed, we were the guys that went in and repaired the runways and did all that stuff. It was called civil engineering. So we spent 4.5 years in the Air Force. I was deployed to, that's my neighbor texting me, make sure I'm feeling better. Text lost you. Anyway, so went on from there, and I started a handyman business right out of the Air Force. I sold everything I had, saved up a bunch of money. I was deployed to Saudi Arabia the last, the last 3 months of my Air Force career, and I went over there. It was an educational experience. I wrote out a business plan. I started my own business. I've always had kind of an entrepreneurial spirit. I've always enjoyed building stuff, so why not take that entrepreneurial spirit and build stuff and enjoy my life? So it's kind of all been about enjoying my life, and sharing it with you is what helps me enjoy my life. So after that, I bought some rental property. So it was in the day of housing boom, and I bought a bunch of rental properties. When I was 23 years old, I had 7 houses I bought. And I rented those houses out, or I bought them and I sold them on contract. I flipped houses. I was a young man, very young, very ambitious. I worked really hard. I had a hot rod Chevelle. I drove a Land Rover. I had a nice home, and I had a bunch of rental properties. And that was what I was going to do, was have a residual income and have rental properties. So my goal was to have 1,000 rental properties. Well, that goal got cut short pretty quickly with 9/11. So 9/11 came. It wiped my handyman business out pretty quickly, but I lived cheaply, and my renters stopped paying rent. I didn't file bankruptcy. I sucked it up. I worked my butt off. I made the payments myself. I took care of everything, and here we are. So after that, after 9/11, I realized, hey, dude, you got to go back to school. You're going to have to get an education. You're going to have to figure out a way to depend on someone other than yourself for income. So that's where the nursing degree came into play. I started studying for a nursing degree when I lived in Utah. And that's where I was stationed in the Air Force. Wonderful place. I can't say enough. If you guys if you live in America or if you live overseas and you're watching this, go to Utah. It's the most wonderful place. It really is. Lots of changes, lots of building changes in Utah. There's a housing boom out there constantly. Dragan says Hill Air Force Base. Yep, that's where I was stationed. I remember my first 2 weeks at the Air Force Base. I'd never been to a place that you could see so far. So Utah In Salt Lake City, there's mountains here, and then there's flat desert in the Salt Lake here, and you can see from the Air Force Base, you could just see out over the whole valley and all the blinking little lights and stuff. So my first 2 weeks out there, I put on my good walking shoes, and I walked out the gate of the Air Force Base, gonna go buy me a car. And I went out and I bought me a 68 Buick Riviera, 2-door, 17 and a half feet long, with a 430 cubic inch engine in it. That's what I did. I walked out the base and I bought me an old car, and I rode back up there, and it was just, I sat in that old car with the radio on, had that speaker. I just got in the back seat, folded the 2 front seats forward, stopped by Taco Bell, got me some tacos, and set up on the Air Force Base and just watched all those lights flicker. It was just so wonderful. So anyway, back to it. Got my nursing degree, and that's how I met my wife, as a registered nurse, and we got married, and I told her on the first date I want to move back to the country, and here we are, sharing it with you. So I want to let you guys know where I've been, what's been going on with the goats. There was question about the goats. So we sold all of our goats. We had 13 or 14 goats. We sold every one of our goats. This is my coffee mug, Chad, for today. I think it says, oh. So, man, I got lost there. So we sold all of our goats. 13 goats. We sold them all. We sold them cheap. We sold them because we didn't need them. We bought the goats for a purpose. The purpose was brush clearing. The brush has been cleared and the goats are gone. We were going up there and we're feeding the goats and we were pulling their heads out of the fence, and we're just having trouble after trouble after trouble. If you've ever owned goats, you've got to check on them 3 and 4 times a day. You've got to be vigilant with goats. You've got to keep an eye on them because they're always into trouble. So they're always into trouble. What does this guy... Is Mrs. Stony Ridge ex-Air Force? No, Mrs. Stony Ridge is not ex-Air Force. I met her outside the military. So Mrs. Stony Ridge grew up in a family who were all college-educated people. No, my parents weren't college-educated people. They're hardworking people. They're farm people. They're country people. And she grew up knowing that she was going to go to college. I didn't grow up knowing that I was going to go to college. That was never in my plans until 9/11. When 9/11 hit, I knew an education was a very important thing, and I had my GI Bill, so I used it. Good stuff. I encourage any young man who's lost, or any young woman who's lost in their way and is looking for something, to check out the military and use those benefits to send yourself to school. If you don't know what you want to do and you don't know who you want to be, which I still don't know who I want to be sometimes, I think that military option is a very good option. Get you out of small town America, get to see a little bit of the world, get some money saved up for education, and grow up. Just teach you how to grow up. So anyhow, if you're just joining us, there's 342 of you in here right now. We're talking about where I've been, what's been going on. I'm suffering from vestibular migraine headaches. It's not a pain in my head, it's a dizziness. So what I see I can't focus. So I can't work in the shop on things that are dangerous. I can't work with the chainsaws. I can't work with the tractor because things are in constant motion. It's coming and going. It looks much better. Things are looking up. I anticipate getting out in the shop and working on the Jeep hopefully later today. We're about to pull the body off the frame. It's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome. And let's see here. It's just going to be cool. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. I don't tell folks Mrs. Stony Ridge's first name, but thank you, MPH44. I don't tell Mrs. Stony Ridge's first name because I don't want you to know. That's it. Mrs. Stony Ridge can be Mrs. Stony Ridge, can't she? That's pretty cool. I'm Josh. That's okay. We want to keep ourselves fairly private. Having a YouTube channel is invasive in your privacy. So it can be invasive in your privacy. So Mrs. Stony Ridge asked that we call her Mrs. Stony Ridge, which is fine with her. Anyway, the migraines are getting better, guys. We're going to get out in the shop. We're going to be working with chainsaws. We're going to be working. I've got a wood chipper that we ordered from Titan Attachments. It's sitting out in the driveway. I can't put it together. Brandon Gleason, $50, man. You don't have to do that. Holy cow. Thanks, man. You just paid my doctor bill. So anyhow, we're going to get out. We're going to be working hopefully this Friday. I want to turn out a Jeep video every Friday. That's my goal. I want to turn something out. We're going to pull that body off the Jeep. It's going to be fun. It's going to be enjoyable. I've got to go buy some air tools. And sometime this week, we're going to go look at a trailer. So we need a trailer, like a gooseneck trailer, to pull behind my truck. The gooseneck trailer, and I got to be able to drive to go get a gooseneck trailer. So we've got to get some resolution here. The gooseneck trailer to go behind the truck needs to be big enough that I can put the tractor on it with the bucket and the bush hog, so that I can go do hired tractor jobs if I want to go do that, so that I can take my tractor in for service. There's just so much that I need a trailer for. We've got a small trailer now, and that's for hauling the gator and the lawnmower and stuff, but even my lawnmower won't fit on my current trailer here. We got 200 acres. We need something to be able to haul hay. We need to be able to haul tractors, cars, and stuff like that. So look for some more fun stuff here in the future, guys. This is what's going on. I've been dizzy. I can't work with like heavy equipment and stuff like that. It's starting to get better. It is a communication issue between my ears, my eyes, and my brain. So somehow, traveling overseas, getting on that plane and rocking back and forth like that has somehow made a communication error between my ears, my eyes, and my brain. And it's just going to take a couple weeks for me to get over it. It's coming and going now. It's much better. I'm going to get out and work in the shop and get out and work on the Jeep pretty soon. As soon as the mud dries up, we're going to get out and work in the field. So I don't know what the brand name is. So we'll take a few questions right now before I go. It's 17:28, so we'll take questions until the 20-minute mark, and then we'll get on out of here. Thanks for Tom Pemberton's video, says Joseph. Thank you, buddy. I enjoyed being over there with Tom. It was so fun. How about bake some cookies? So I can do stuff in the house. When did you get the pig? Did I get the pig? What is this? Pig has not resurfaced. I don't know. Maybe the owner of the pig figured out what the heck is going on and put their pig up. I don't know, but the pig has not resurfaced. What's up with the Grand National? It's sitting out there in the shed right now. I can't drive it. Can more hunt? Red Horse Prime. What's this here? 16-year CB here. Awesome, buddy. CBs. Matthew, so we trained with the CBs in the Air Force. I got to train with those guys. Most of our pole climbing school was with the CBs, so that was a real honor. Didn't know what an honor it was until after the fact, after I separated from the Air Force, what an elite unit the CBs are for the Navy. Somebody just said, I'm a real inspiration. Thanks, Jay. Combat Engineer Henry. Awesome. Angel Coleman. Can me and my husband have a shout out? Dude, you're shouting yourself out when you leave a comment like that. You are. You doing something with Ventrac? Email back here. Hopefully Ventrac tractors will be bringing a tractor out for us to use to clear land and to help to replant the land. So we've worked out a lease. Hopefully we've worked out a lease with Ventrac tractors. I think we're going to lease a Ventrac for a couple years here on the farm, and we're going to clean up land with it so that when we start building fences and stuff, we are set up where we will be easy to maintain. So hopefully we will have a partnership or something to that effect with Ventrac tractors. If you guys have seen Tractor Time with Tim's been working with those guys, and we're going to lease a tractor for a couple years, so it should be cool. Let's see here. Somebody just mentioned the Wednesday night live thing. I haven't been live on Wednesday night because this past Wednesday, man, I was just down, man. I was down for the count, totally down with the vertigo thing. Do you watch Chucky 2009? I do. I watch Chucky. Go over there and tell him Stony Ridge Farmer says hey if you get a chance. I don't know if he even knows of me, but yeah, I watch him for sure. Did I spend any time at Tinker Air Force Base? No, I didn't. Flooding issues. We've had flooding issues. Somebody just asked about that. Do you live off of YouTube? We live off of our nursing income, our YouTube income. YouTube makes a little bit of money now. It's paying for equipment and helping pay for things here on the farm. And that's it. So my income, Stony Ridge Farm income, and my wife's income. So we work hard, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I'll work as long as I can work. I don't ever see myself retiring. I don't ever see myself just hanging up my spurs. You know what I mean? Human Newer says marijuana helps with vertigo. Cool. I'm a nurse. No marijuana, buddy. Sorry. Someone just asked a wonderful question. Hamilton Farm. There's a word called thin ice. Have I ever come to Oregon? Yeah, Justin, I've come through Oregon. I've driven through Oregon. I wouldn't say I've spent a lot of time there. Driven by the Columbia River there. Hamilton Farm, just messing. Good, buddy. Rusted 12 Valve said he got a $100 truck shirt. Rad, dude. That truck's still out there, man. I've got the kit to do a spray-in bed liner or a roll-in bed liner with it, but I can't do anything because the weather has been so bad. I can't do anything. So Barb Welch says they're going to keep on keeping on too, not retiring. So did Mrs. make you sign a farming HIPAA? No. Your breed, am I breeding the German Shepherds? Okay, so we have a female German Shepherd and a male German Shepherd, and they're both from different litters. They're not related to each other, and the plan is to have some puppies. So I've never had puppies. I've never fooled with them a whole lot. My mom fools with puppies. She raises dogs. She shows dogs. So that's going to be an interesting adventure for sure. I told Mrs. Stony Ridge that the puppies will be tryouts for kids. For both of us. What length of gooseneck am I looking for? I believe this gooseneck is I think the bed on it, it's an all steel bed. We'll see it tomorrow or the next day here on the vlog because I'm going to go out and look at it here in the next little bit. So as long as I don't have my dizziness. And Epley maneuvers and all this stuff with John Pelter. Thank you so much for all the advice. And guys, thanks for all the advice on the dizziness, but it's not something that can be solved with maneuvers or medication. It's just going to take time. What I believe the problem is that I have my butt in this chair and the weather's bad and I can't get out and I can't exercise and I can't work like I was. And our trip to Europe, our trip to the UK, I spent basically a week and a half in a chair. And I'm not made to be in a chair all the time. I got to get up and get out and go do stuff. So someone just asked, how long have we owned the farm? We've been on the farm for about 3 years now. Phil Lully, Josh, you still work as a nurse. Once a nurse, always a nurse, buddy. Yep. For sure. You have to keep your license up. So yeah, I definitely have to work as a nurse to keep my license up. Need a trainer for the bike so you can sit and spin, says S Squared. I've got one, man, but I can't sit still. I'm already shaking right here just talking to you. All right, we'll take 2 more cool questions. TW, yes, I'm sure don't have an infection, buddy. I'm sure. It's a migraine issue. I've been to the docs. He looked in my ears. It's not an infection. So, snowstorm in Oregon. So we'll take 2 more questions and we'll get on out of here. I should get a DeLorean. Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. If money was no limit, we would have all kinds of fun stuff. Plowing time this afternoon. Snow in Maine. Oof. No plowing. What is this marijuana talk? Why is everybody... I can't... I have a job. I can't... It's not legal. I can't... I got a job, man. I definitely... So let's talk about what happens when you use marijuana as a registered nurse. So you go to work as a registered nurse and you're caring for people and you're working with medications and you need to be on top of your game. And I don't think that marijuana per se is going to affect that if you did it hours or days before you go to work as a registered nurse. However, the Board of Nursing in North Carolina recognizes marijuana as an illegal substance and recognizes it as an addictive illegal substance. So, as a registered nurse, if you get in trouble with drug-related things, or you get tested, or you get injured on your job as a registered nurse, say I accidentally poke myself with a needle, then I get drug tested immediately. And that drug test if it shows that you've done an illegal substance or you have a medication in your system that could impair you, then you get investigated not only by your work and they don't pay you, you also get investigated by the Board of Nursing in North Carolina, which suspends your license and makes you go to rehab. So in other words, if you tested positive for an illegal substance or if you tested positive for a medication for which you're not prescribed, and this is the way it should be, if you test positive for something like that in the state of North Carolina as a registered nurse, then you get suspended and you have to go to rehab and you have to go through all this stuff. As a registered nurse, you can't go get a DUI. You can't show that what's the word I'm looking for? You can't show that you have a dependency, a chemical dependency, which is impairing your judgment. And that's what's up, man. That's totally what's up. So a lot of marijuana comments here right now. And I'm not. That's not me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's not me. It's just not me. So Wi-Fi on the router should be turned off to Wi-Fi 5G. Now, I don't put my phone up to my ear anymore. I had a friend of mine that had some issues with that. Man, I said I was going to get off here 10 minutes ago. Here we are again. North Country Off Grid says try crack. I got a crack in my concrete out there in the shop. Maybe I'll go work on that. Oh, man. Well, guys, thanks so much to everyone. There's one guy in there that gave a super chat, a $4 super chat. I can't see your comment, buddy, but thank you so much. Guys, thanks so much for all the super chats. Thanks for listening to me. I want to talk to you about what the heck is going on today. What's wrong with me? Why you haven't seen a lot of videos out in the shop. Why you haven't seen a whole lot of videos out on the farm. It's been too muddy. I've been busy, and that's it. More cool Stony Ridge Farmer material is coming. I'm going to get up. I'm going to get out. We're going to beat this migraine thing, and we're going to have some fun. So, guys, thanks a lot. I am feeling better. Things are getting better. We're going to get out in the shop. We're going to work on the Jeep, and I thank you so much for helping support the channel. So, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot, Chad and Shelby. Guys, check out Tom Pemberton Farm Life. Tom Pemberton Farm Life. It's an awesome channel. It's the guy we visited over in the UK. Great dude. Tell him I said hey. Tell Chucky 2009 I said hey. And we'll see you next time on the Stony Ridge. Thanks a lot, guys.